I was building courses and then like a month later, the technology changes. And so what I realized was rather than trying to teach people these huge mastery programs, it needs to be modular in a way that it doesn't matter what the tech is, you need to understand how to use AI on a fundamental level, because then the actual tool is replaceable. But once you understand API integrations, once you understand how best prompt engineering works, regardless of what tool it is, you can get the output that you're looking for.
Welcome to How I AI, the podcast featuring real people, real stories, and real AI in action. Hi, I'm Brooke Raymer, your host and guide on this journey of the real-world impact of artificial intelligence. For over 15 years, I've worked in creative marketing, events, and business strategy, wearing all the hats. I know the struggle of trying to scale and manage all things without burning out. But here's the game changer, AI. This isn't just a podcast. How I AI is a community, a space where curious minds like you come together, share ideas, and I'll also bring you exclusive discounts and insider resources because AI isn't just a trend, it's a shift. And the sooner we embrace it, the more freedom, creativity, and opportunities will unlock. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of How I AI. I'm your host, Brooke Raymer. Today, I'm in Bali and hosting Emaan Faith. She's a visual artist and AI expert. Emaan, thank you so much for being here and welcome to How I AI.
Thank you so much, Brooke. I'm so honored to be here today.
I would love to just open the floor in this space for you to share all about your background and how you came into AI.
Yeah, so I was actually a full-time self-taught visual artist for the past 8 years, and I was painting murals around the world, doing fine art, and how I got into AI first was I started using Midjourney as a tool to come up with multiple mural concepts at the same time. What I found was when I used to paint at restaurants, they didn't really know what they wanted. They just wanted an Instagram wall. And so without clarity of direction, I was like, okay, I have 15 million different ideas, but in the past, it would take me hours to like manually sketch out different ideas. So I started using Midjourney to present 50 ideas to a client, and then they would be like, wow, this is amazing, let's go with this. And then I would use my manual labor to go and actually draw out the ideas.
Cool.
And so when I first started doing that, I was like, holy crap, this has completely changed the way that I do business. And I was able to scale my art career much faster. My quality of my work was so much better. There was so much more diversity. And then I got very interested in AI and I was like, if I can do this with mural concepts, what else can I do? And so naturally, being the creative ADHD brain, I would stay up till 6 a.m. every night, just deep diving. And I was like, oh my God, I can build voice agents. I can do marketing. I can do email automations. I can do this. I can do that. And I got so invested in this space. And eventually I actually took a break from painting a year and a half ago. And I've been all in on this space ever since.
Wow, that's incredible. My most recent corporate job, I was doing marketing for a lifestyle boutique hotel, and we worked with local muralists in Woodwood, Miami, and it was always more beneficial to see their work presented digitally, and I could see how a tool like Midjourney would really support that process for submissions. So that's cool that that was just your organic segue into using the tools. We did a really cool workshop together during the mastermind this past week. I loved the demo that you had us do, and we created our own digital ad and digital influencer. Could you share all about your technology stack and everything that you're using right now?
Honestly, I'm using like maybe 100 different tools at the moment. It's funny because I spent my monthly subscriptions just for AI tools is insane. But at the same time, it provides me so much value. I would gladly pay for any of these tools in a heartbeat because it replaces having a whole team. I guess now that I'm in the AI space, the most common ask that I get is to create AI avatars. And so for social media automation, being a creative myself, I understand the value of social media, but I hate having to think about filming and recording because I really want to be involved in my creative process. And when you know there's a camera filming, it kind of takes away from the process.
Of course.
And so naturally, I created my AI avatar and I started using her to start creating all of my AI content. And then for my personal page, I would then have B-rolls of me painting. But when I had anything that had to do with talking on the camera, so something like HeyGen's really great for that, 11 Labs for cloning the voice. And then I actually started getting more and say, okay, like what else can I do with this? Currently, I'm building custom AI voice agents. I'm actually building an AI educational platform to teach people about all the different tools and their uses. Another really great thing was with the art was like to be able to superimpose the concepts into a 3D space so that people can really see the vision rather than just presenting a JPEG. I'm like, okay, show me a picture of your space. Let's use AI to put it into the space so people can visually see and get the feel of what it'll look like when it's in their environment.
Wow, that's so impactful. I could see the benefit of that. Just thinking about interior design, like to see what it looks like in this space versus just trying to use your imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Tell me more about the platform that you're creating to teach people AI.
Yeah, so I had the vision for GetEducated.ai a year and a half ago because when I first got into the space, I was learning everything on YouTube. And I was like, the quality of the content, there's just way too much information out there. It's not great. It's usually some guy in some country with a horrible accent, and you're just like, I want to learn. I just found that there was really not a centralized place to learn about AI. And if you type in AI courses on Google, all you find is courses on machine learning and data science. It's not really practical information. I then started joining these paid private communities, which ended up costing a lot of money. And then also on school, there's a lot of communities on school, like Liam Otley is a really great example of a school community where I've learned so much. But at the same time, the platform, I don't love it. It's again, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of clutter, there's a lot of trolls in the space. So it's very hard to find the information that I was looking for. There's obviously a huge opportunity. There's a huge gap. And if I could be the person to bridge that gap, by creating these hyper specialized courses for every single industry and niche, like AI for product designers, AI for web designers, AI for fashion designers, AI for whatever the need is. And so I've been working on that concept for the past year. And it's been tough because, as you know, the space evolves so quickly.
Yes.
I was building courses and then like a month later, the technology changes.
Yeah.
And so what I realized was rather than trying to teach people these huge mastery programs to learn these things, it needs to be modular in a way that it doesn't matter what the tech is. You need to understand how to use AI on a fundamental level, because then the actual tool is replaceable. But once you understand API integrations, once you understand how best prompt engineering works, regardless of what tool it is, you can get the output that you're looking for.
And how are you building this educational platform?
It's funny you ask because it has been such a journey. Originally, I wanted to do Kajabi, which is the #1 course platform, as you know. Unfortunately, Kajabi is only for single course creators.
Okay.
But from the beginning, my vision was to have a course marketplace because there's a lot of different industries that I know that I don't specialize in. So I wanted to have multiple instructors for multiple industries. So Kajabi didn't suit my needs. Then I transitioned to Go High Level. Then I transitioned to WordPress using a LMS plugin. And every single time I would iterate, I was like, nah, this is not it. No, this is not it. This is not it. And so now I built the whole front end on Framer, which is my absolute favorite web design tool. And if anybody is looking to design a website, 100%, I'm like the biggest ambassador for Framer. And for the community, I want to custom build it, but I have to start somewhere. So right now I'm using Circle, but the goal is to custom build it because like I said, for me, the aesthetic, the user experience, like all of this is so important. And I want to create the masterclass of AI education.
Yes.
But, it doesn't happen overnight. And my perfectionist in me is like, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also am looking into Framer after our mastermind. I know Eric recommended it. I think I'm going to create a new website using that as well.
It's insane.
How do you integrate payment into that? So to my knowledge, you can really just copy any template or platform or even website nowadays, right? You can clone things. But then how do you integrate things like the process of payment and getting that all squared away?
They're all plugins. So
They're
you can use
plugins.
PayPal, you can use Stripe.
Yeah.
You can integrate any plugin into it. So Framer is just a platform to develop on, but then you can add all the plugins. You can do a lot with it.
Okay, I'm going to look more into that. You shared about APIs. Someone who doesn't know what that means, could you expand on that?
Okay, it's hard to explain, but it's basically, it's like a key. If I have different platforms, I have my Gmail, I have my calendar, I have my Instagram, I have all these different apps, and I want to find a way to connect them. Your API is kind of like a digital key that will give you access to connect one app to another. So this comes in handy when you get into automation, because the goal of automation is to be able to take data from one platform to another. So if I write something on ChatGPT, I want it to automatically publish into Instagram. So I need the API Instagram keys, right? And then I need the same thing for Twitter, and I need the same thing for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And it honestly sounds so technical, but once you learn this one thing, you can automate every single part of your business. And that's what I've been doing for a lot of my consulting clients, is kind of bridging that gap and teaching them how to do it or doing it for them. And the results are insane. Like the simplest automation can save you like 20 plus hours a week.
Wow. What are your favorite automation systems?
Social media,
Yeah,
for sure. Because I find that as you understand the importance of a personal brand, and I feel like everyone has the one platform they resonate with, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is. But we all recognize the importance of being omnipresent across all the channels.
Yes.
But it can feel like such a chore.
Yes.
Having a social media automation is the most brilliant thing you can do for yourself. And this is not the same thing as having a scheduling tool that will then go and you still have to manually schedule the things. This is totally different. My week looks like this. I have 1 hour a week where I just do research. And I find whether it's blog posts or YouTube videos, and then the AI will take those articles, take those YouTube videos, extract all of the quality and the value that comes from them, and then create content on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, without me having to intervene at all. It's actually insane what you can do with it.
So you're not giving human in the loop. You're letting it, as Eric say, YOLO.
It also depends how hands-on you want to be, because for a lot of people, especially influencers, their Instagram is their legacy.
Yes.
So you want to have creative control over every piece of content that goes out. Of
course.
So if you want that, you can do that. But if you wanted to run autonomous accounts across all these channels, I can have my fitness entire empire on autopilot, and then I can have a separate one for art, and then I can have a separate one for AI. And I don't actually have to be doing any of it. I see the value in that. But then the problem with that also is social media is going to shift so much in the next year.
Yes.
You know, there's going to be so many bot accounts that are ghost pages that are running, and us humans are going to be trying to compete with that. If we're doing it manually, you can't compete with that. They're posting 3 times a day. The quality is just as good. It's indistinguishable. So it's kind of terrifying. So that's why I'm like, we have a very short window of opportunity right now with social media, with building our personal brand, which is why I love that you're doing this podcast, because it's such a great platform for us to share our voices. So
I'm working more on automation and getting more systems in place so I can be more places.
I got you, girl.
Right now, I was at, full capacity with my consulting work to be able to put more energy into this. But I think that's my biggest takeaway from the Hacker House. And there's so much support here as well. I feel like I finally have all the keys in place to really go all in on promoting this podcast.
You do, and I'm so excited for you. And it makes me so happy to hear that. For a lot of people who came to the Hacker House, it was like nobody really knew what to expect. But I've been having conversations where they're like, wow, it's been a week since the Hacker House, and now things are finally starting to click. You know, the relationships that we've made are the missing pieces to our puzzle. And I think the way that we support each other is how we're all going to win and get ahead.
Absolutely. Are you going to attend the one happening in Tulum in October?
Girl, I wouldn't miss it. Of course. I'm actually hoping to plan one in Cape Town. I've also been doing events in the AI space and workshops as well. And so my goal is to really bring the knowledge to all of these big cities where all these entrepreneurs like us thrive. So Cape Town, Miami, Dubai, Tulum, Colombia, like all of these places, there's such a huge demand, and it's people like us. I don't want to be there.
That's incredible. I want to touch on a little bit more about the future of social media because you're so big into that space. I know that you just started a vlog, which is really exciting. Where do you see this all going? Do you think it's just going to be bots and avatars? Like, where do you see it all going with clones and everything?
There's going to be a lot of bots and avatars.
Yeah.
And that's why the era of hyper-polished content is over. It's about authenticity. So this is why, like, even what I realized is I spent so much energy trying to create these reels that are, polished and have animations, and they keep you engaged with these viral hooks and da-da-da-da. There's so many rules. And I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, an AI can do this better than I can. So what can I do that an AI can't do? And so with the vlog, I'm trying to make it a built in public, day in the life, as authentic, as raw as possible, because that's something that AI is not going to do. It's not trained to do it. I mean, it can in the future.
Yeah.
But I think the more authentic we are, the less polished we are, the more in-person communities that we built, like community building is going to be so huge, you know? It's so important for us to focus on that now because the time is running out. The world's going to be such a different place a year from now.
Have you just started exploring AI and feel a bit overwhelmed? Don't worry, I've got you. Jump on a quick start call with me so you can walk away with a clear and personalized plan to move forward with more confidence and ease. Join my community of AI adopters like yourself. Plus, grab my free resources, including the AI Get Started guide, or try my How AI Companion GPT. It pulls insights from my guest interviews along with global reports so you can stay ahead of the curve. Follow the link in the description below to get started. Another question I like to ask, since you already shared amazing benefits and automation and time saved, did you have any challenges to adoption when you were first getting in?
I still have challenges to this day, which is that there is shiny object syndrome.
Yes.
Every single day, there's a new tool with a new benefit and a new feature, and I've spent so long doing this thing, and then something else comes out, and you're like, wow, opportunity, opportunity. And so staying focused can be so freaking hard. I have this goal of building out these courses, but there's 1,000 things that I want to be doing at the same time. I have 100 different startup ideas. Every single one of them is viable. And as you know, using AI, you can build a business in 2 days and it can be profitable.
Yes.
And so it's really hard to stay focused. I think the biggest thing I'm learning is just understand your why, because there will always be another opportunity that's worth $1 million if you actually go and execute it. But if you stay true to your why and you stay aligned on that mission, it's the best way to keep your blinders on with the shiny object syndrome. I'm sure you feel it all the time too.
Yes, I think that's what I went into this year so strong, you know, New Year's resolutions and AI and big picture thinking. And then I got a bit scattered, to be honest, with everything coming out and getting pulled in all these directions of wanting to help other people get into the space and kind of put my own ideas and projects in the background.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. So I think this time here in Bali, which is such a great pattern interrupt, made me flip the script a bit of wanting to put my own goals and pursuits more to the forefront, and what it is that I'm creating with my brand and supporting people as a byproduct of that. It's my
100%.
mission to get people into creating their dreams and their lives of purpose and passion using AI.
I love that.
And highlighting all the benefits. So one of my favorite questions to ask people, because you're already creating a lot in this space, what is maybe not in AI yet? You already are creating GetEducated.ai, which is amazing. What else would you want to create, getting your magic wand with AI?
There's so many things. And actually, going back to what you just said, I think the issue also, like as a consultant, is that we're giving other people advice on how to do the things, but I'm not even taking half of that advice myself because I don't have time. I show people how to create these amazing animations that you can build entire worlds. You can in ecosystems, gaming, all of this stuff. And I'm not even doing it myself. But to answer your question, I think the biggest opportunity, which is inevitable, is the intersection of blockchain and AI.
Okay.
And I think that we're still not there yet, in a sense of there's going to be a big problem when people are like, we can't tell what's real and what's fake. We can't tell the origins of anything. You have fake news that looks so realistic, you can start a war over this stuff, right? So I want to see this happen sooner than later, that people start tokenizing everything that's created so that we can verify that source of who created it, when was it created. We can track it all the way back, right? And that's what blockchain technology does. And I think that it hasn't become commercial yet, but I think that's the next biggest thing that needs to happen.
That's interesting. In the last Miami mastermind for the collective, one of the speakers, Chris Moore, was speaking about how they can, as of right now, they can detect AI between real people based on their breathing patterns and recognize that.
That's so cool.
But at what point does that catch up?
It will.
Right?
Yeah, AI can replicate like your breathing patterns, your heartbeat, your everything.
Yeah.
You can code imperfection into the AI, into the avatars, into their speech so that you can tell that it's human. But yeah, so I think with the tokenization aspect of things, that's probably the only way we're going to be able to. And I used to be huge in the Web3 NFT space. And I realized that it was just way before its time. And now that we have AI, this is going to be essential. It's the only way we can actually start to see things that are true or things that are like, where do they come from?
That was my first initial thought when you were demoing how to create ads and how we can just throw, like I sent you on Instagram, a t-shirt on Canva on a model.
So cool. I was mind blown. Canva.
Yes.
Canva is like the underdog.
Yes.
Graphic designers always laugh that like, oh, you're not a real designer using Canva. Canva's AI suite is insane. When you showed me that, I was mind blown.
It was really cool. I'll
Insane.
be sure to link that in the show notes so people can see what we're referencing. But on the flip side, at one point, do you buy a t-shirt or buy a product that is shown on AI, an AI-driven ad, and then it comes into real life and it doesn't look anything like that?
It's going to happen for sure. Expectation versus reality.
Yeah, what's the quality control and the standards? This just goes to your point of tokenization. There's going to need to be more AI laws and regulations and layers of security.
Absolutely. I just saw yesterday, like all these like Google released a new virtual try-on. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not trained on different body styles. It's trained on generic, like one specific race, one specific style of body. It doesn't take into account that every human body is different. And just because virtually it looks amazing on me doesn't mean it's going to look virtually on me in the real world.
Yeah.
And so for sure, that's a problem we're going to see. But again, like it's only a matter of time before AI can start to train itself and fill those gaps. So I'm so excited to see what happens a year from now, 2 years from now.
Yeah, me too. So what are your favorite tools right now? You mentioned that you have hundreds and you're trying a bunch, but what did you use just today?
Well, today in my demo that I did here in the Hacker House, I was using Adobe Firefly for product photos. So for GetEducated.ai, I've been using a lot of that to create some of the custom graphics and stuff. And before that, I just woke up.
There's a lot more time in the day to use AI.
Yeah, there's a lot of other tools that are coming out every single day. So Google VO3 is the number one for hyper-realistic video generation that matches with words and speaking. There's GenSpark, which is taking over for custom autonomous AI agents. There's literally every single day I'm like blown. And so my advice is where I learn is I go to Product Hunt. .io, I think, Product Hunt. And there you can find the list of all the top products that are coming out.
Cool.
And they have little tutorials and they have little affiliate codes. So I'm always on Product Hunt to see like what's new on the market.
Yes.
You should definitely check it out.
I would love, since you're an artist, first and foremost, what does it mean to be an artist in the world and space of AI, which might be feeling like it's threatening creativity a bit, or maybe it's not at all?
Yeah, it's hard to say because art is about self-expression. And an AI cannot feel emotion like an artist can. Like when I paint, I'm bleeding onto canvas. That's how I feel. That's my relationship with my art. That's why the best art, the best poetry, the best music, it all comes from pain and processing these emotions, right? And AI is not able to do that. However, it's really good at imitation. And there was a point in my life a couple months ago when I was like, there's no way. You can tell AI art is soulless.
Yeah.
You know, I used to always say that, but now it's not soulless. Like it literally can replicate the emotion and the pain and the imperfection. So is it a threat? For sure it is, but it'll never take away from our process. So if you stop focusing so much on the output and you focus more on the actual process of creating, AI can't take that away from you. It can make a better portrait than you can, sure. But that process of creating that portrait and, you know, spending hours like fixing the lights and the shadows and the cathartic, I almost like transcend when I'm painting. It's like a form of meditation. AI can't take that away. So people need to be less focused on the output and more focused on the creative process itself and what it gives them emotionally. And you can't replace that.
I saw recently that they're training AI specifically on emotional intelligence now, right? You know, we said earlier in the year, things that AI can't replicate, and emotional intelligence obviously was one of them, but now they're coming after our emotional intelligence.
It's going to be so creepy when the AI bots have more emotional intelligence than most men these days. It's going to happen. And then we're going to be like, why am I so connected to ChatGPT and it's so hard to date?
Or maybe they will finally start to teach that in schools, and it'll
I hope
be,
so.
yeah, training little kids how to be emotional intelligence, and then,
I hope so.
yeah.
I actually had this thought the other day that, if we have children, when we have children, they're not going to school.
No.
Nobody's going to send their kids. The school system hasn't changed since like the last 60 years.
Yes.
That's why I was so passionate about GetEducated.ai. The reason kids of the future will have some type of school system is just for the socialization aspect.
Of course.
Of learning how interpersonal relationships work.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actual education, like that is dead. And so this is another multi-billion-dollar industry. There's a huge gap of what is the future of education for children going to look like.
Yes.
And who's actually going to be the one to change it and reform it completely. I'm so grateful that AI is going to be doing a lot of the education because you can code in emotional intelligence and the curriculum will always be current and it will always be updated. We're not going to be reading Shakespeare anymore,
Yeah.
But things are going to shift so much. And I'm just curious to know who's going to take the lead and what that future will look like.
I've seen some smaller schools in Florida and Texas kind of already integrate that and adapt that rather than be scared or negative towards it. And I think it does free up just a lot more time and space to have more human in-person connection and experiences rather than spending so much time on learning and school and homework. And
Exactly.
that can be optimized, and kids are learning at a faster rate because they're not held to these standard processes across the board because we all learn so differently and experience and take in information uniquely. And now we can have this individualized method of learning and growing, which I think is one of the many benefits of AI. And even as a business owner, as a marketer, as someone who's reaching out to clients, you can individualize your products and your offerings and your courses, right?
Yeah.
No longer do we take the same course. So I imagine with GetEducated.ai, people can be able to go in and choose their own journey, learn at their own pace, and go in that way, which is just, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's making us superhuman. I don't think it's artificial intelligence. It's not artificial at all, but it's giving us the ability to be superhuman and tap into the intelligence of the world. It's insane. I'm so grateful to be alive in this era.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who are afraid, and I'm just like, wow, how lucky are we to have been born before the internet was created
Yes.
and to now be leading the future of the AI revolution. 90s babies, we got it so good.
I love that. Would you want to share any word of advice for someone getting into AI for the first time? Do you have anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, because I've been working one-on-one with a lot of people, is that people want to get into AI, but there's just so much opportunity and so much potential. They get very overwhelmed very fast. And that's also how I felt in the beginning.
Yes.
But I think you first have to get clarity on what is it that you want to achieve. So really set the foundation of, okay, in a perfect world, 5 years from now, this is the type of empire I want to create, and then reverse engineer how the path to getting there. Because if you try to just be like, okay, I want to get AI enhanced, what do I do? Where do I begin? It's there's a million directions you can go in, and you can get lost very fast, just like you and I were it's really hard to stay focused. But if you can reverse engineer your ultimate reality and then just find the right tools and the right learning path to get you to your dream life, I think that's the best word of advice I could give to somebody.
Beautiful. I loved that workshop. I don't know if you had the option to run through what Lucas ran for us at the mastermind, where he did that 3-step prompting process where we future mapped our dreams in our business. Did you do that process?
I was in the back preparing for my presentation.
Okay.
I have to do that though.
Yeah, because that was really incredible. And I think that's so cool that we can use AI to future map our dreams in that way.
Yeah. I think my biggest why has always been to help people quit the jobs that they hate so that they could live more meaningful lives, because a lot of my friends and my family, they're working in jobs that make them miserable Monday to Friday just to get a paycheck, and then they just try to escape on the weekends. And this is like a very vicious cycle that I'm like, don't do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I have the courage to travel and paint and pursue all my passions. And I realize that I am very privileged to have that courage, and not everybody has it.
Yes.
So I just see AI as it's like a way out. Like you can escape the matrix. You can achieve any reality that it is that you're hoping to achieve. You can create that reality with the help of these AI tools. And so rather than having that fear, it's like you should have that excitement of, oh my God, I can create my dream reality and AI is going to help me do it. I don't need a team. I don't need capital. I don't need anything. The tools cost like $20 a month and they can do thousands of dollars worth of labor for you.
Yeah.
You don't need a team anymore, you know?
Yes, I think it's an incredible time for women because we need flexible work-life balance.
So totally.
Yeah, it's never been a better time to just start to create our own businesses, be at home with our families, have more time with our families, not have to be in offices. You've really embraced the digital nomad life. How long have you been working for yourself as a digital nomad?
Since 2017.
Wow.
And I was living in Canada at the time, and I was just not happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, there has to be a better way. So I started backpacking through Asia, and then I moved to Mexico. I've been traveling a lot. And I've been lucky because I've been using social media as a way to share my art on my travels. And so most of the income that I made was through my social media connections, which is why I'm such a big believer in really invest the time in your personal brand and your social media. And then I started consulting for digital marketing clients, and then naturally went into AI consulting. So it's kind of like I was lucky enough to create this dream life that enables me to travel, but also be able to make money online.
Yes.
And for me, like that was what I was looking to do, and I was able to do it.
Maybe you want to give any final remarks for someone wanting to take that leap.
Just do it. Like seriously, just do it. It's just there's really nothing to fear anymore. For sure, the future of humanity is at risk. Absolutely. But if you spend so much time worrying about that, you're really missing out on a short window of opportunity that we have before the world changes entirely, where the economic systems collapse. Like, you know, we don't know what it's going to look like. But right now, for the next 12 months, you can completely change your life.
Yes.
And all you have to do is take the first step. And that first step is joining an AI community, messaging people like us. Like everybody I know in the space wants to help. So like just don't be afraid to reach out. Like everybody's like, let's do this together. Let's build together. You need help, I got you.
Yeah.
So just invest in your education, invest in your communities, invest in the tools, and trust me, your life is going to look so different.
Such beautiful final words. I can't thank you enough for being here and for sharing about your journey and giving such amazing words of advice and positive encouragement. I think it's much needed now. How can listeners reach out to you? What's the best way to connect?
Well, my platform is GetEducated.ai. That's the same on Instagram on the URL. And my personal is faith.creator. So you guys can reach out anytime, and I'm always happy to help.
Thank you so much, Faith.
Thank you for having me, Brooke.
Yeah. Wow. I hope today's episode opened your mind to what's possible with AI. Do you have a cool use case on how you're using AI and want to share it? DM me. I'd love to hear more and feature you on my next podcast. Until next time, here's to working smarter, not harder. See you on the next episode of How I AI. This episode was made possible in partnership with The Collective AI, a community designed to help entrepreneurs, creators, and professionals seamlessly integrate AI into their workflows. One of the biggest game changers in my own AI journey was joining this space. It's where I learned, connected, and truly enhanced my understanding of what's possible with AI. And the best part, they offer multiple membership levels to meet you where you are. Whether you want to DIY your AI learning or work with a personalized AI consultant for your business, The Collective has you covered. Learn more and sign up using my exclusive link in the show notes.